Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Mega Man here, and I'm from the Maxi Toys. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll present to you our extra video of Let's Play of Sonic CD, specifically on the HD re-release version of the game. So as I mentioned this before, there are a ton of extras that you can actually find in this version of the game, as so much so for the original version on the Mega CD version. First things first though, so you probably noticed on, if you ever played the PlayStation 3 version, and even the Xbox 360, and in PC Steam version, even the iOS version of the game, there you can actually see your trophies or achievements. So even then though, there are a grand total like 12 of them in total, so even then I only got about, let's just say, 10 trophies out of 12. So you have trophies like 88 miles per hour, just one hug with Amy, and trying to make a good future at least one zone, and also trying to find the alternate route on, doing the Collusion Chaos Act 2, which I've already done that twice. Oh yeah, you know what the just one hug for Amy, it only applies to Sonic's playthrough of Sonic CD, and also it can be only accessed via the Plum Tree Panic Act 1, and also at the very end of Stardust Speedway, which is Stardust Speedway Act 3, so well, it's worth mentioning. And also you got things like so these extra trophies where I managed to go, which are collect 200 rings, especially for this little hidden statue you can only find in Wacky Workbench. I'm not sure what act she's actually from, but even then I will briefly gonna look that up eventually. So, and also that trying to actually beat all the stages, collect all the time stones, defeat Eggman's or Dr. Robotnik's final machine, aka Psycho Egg, and finally the Time Attacker mode, which we'll explain more on that later. So the only two achievements, or in this case, there are two exceptions that I haven't got, which are both don't get hit by Metal Sonic at least once, because this is probably the hardest part I find for the Metal Sonic's race. And also that in order to actually get the 12th and the final trophy in the game, is by basically, not to mention you have to get all of these robot generators destroyed, but also you need to destroy a lot of Sonic holograms. And let me tell you, I'm not able to done that because every time I try to practice and all that, but I have no idea where hologram Sonics were, or Metal Sonics were. But anyway, so here we have the Time Attack mode, which is self-explanatory, and this is used to become stapled into during the future Sonic games at this point in time, like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, and especially noticeable in some other handheld Sonic games included, like Sonic Advance, Sonic Advance 2, and hell, even especially Sonic Advance 3. So even then though, that, you know what I mentioned before, that I managed to actually got myself the trophy of the game, which actually features the, the time attack thing. And basically what you could do is by basically beat every single state, or beat every single zones in the entire game, but within under 25 minutes. And even then though, after when you perform that, although I'll talk more to that briefly later, because from now on, let's go ahead and showcase the some extras menu where you can only access to, again, the HD re-release version of the game. So here we have D.A. Garden, which this allows you to actually just to manage to take control of this little planet image. And as you can see, Tails is using his tornado since Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I thought was a really cool flashback on that back in the day. And also you could actually take control of Little Planet, while to simply just use the analog stick until you actually just move around Little Planet. And also if you press the X button, that I'm assuming you actually change the background music every time when you actually trying to fiddle around with it. Oh, some nice stars, thank you. And then you could also press the triangle button or the Y button. I don't know if I actually played the Xbox 360 version of it yet, but you can actually just zoom in or zoom out of this little image. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. And I don't know if there's any other modes I must think of about this particular menu right here, but even then it's a nice little distraction. So anyway, next we're going to be showcasing is these cutscenes. Now, we already pretty much showcased the opening cutscene of the game, which actually features, simple stuff really. And there's also the good ending, which that happens if you actually get all the 7 time stones, or even the alternate way is by basically destroying every single robot generators in every single act. And there's also these other 2 scenes where we haven't sort of covered through, which are the bad ending and the pencil test. So anyways, so let's go ahead and get started with, let's just watch the bad ending. And this what happens if you don't collect all the time stones, or even do not destroy every single robot generator. So yeah, with this bad ending department, it's actually what happens was though is that Robotnik's actually got away with the time stone itself, and basically Sonic is trying to perform a spin dash and trying to like, you know, throw the stone or something like that, and that way it'll just makes him just incredibly stuffed or something. Anyway, so yeah, that's what happens if you do not get all of these 7 time stones, or even like destroy every single robot generator, just as I mentioned earlier. And here, this is the pencil test, which basically what this does is that it'll do a animation test of the opening cinematic, especially the ending as well, which it'll briefly showcase like just as that. And even then though, it'll also showcase the showcase of Sonic's movesets, like, you know, the super peel outs and even the spin dash as a result. So anyway though, so I think that's all I can say about this this particular mode right there, the visual mode, aka cutscenes mode. Next we'll be showcase is the time attack mode, which as I mentioned earlier, now you probably know something is that as you can tell from the bottom right corner of the screen, that it says like next, like up and down, which this means you can access to these special stages on time attack mode. This was after the events of when Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 usually did have a ability to actually just to revisit these special stages all over again, and also doing a time attack version of it as well. And also you can manage to like select any of these special stages individually on let's just say in Sonic Colors on the DS, and also the Sonic Generations on Nintendo 3DS, and also Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2, and I'm pretty sure Sonic Lost World for the 3DS as well. So it's kind of interesting actually, because even then though, unlike in any other Sonic games, like after the all of the Sonic games that has been released like in the past few years, that you can't actually access to the special stage anywhere else, because you have to get like certain requirements in order to actually access to it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that how yeah. And yeah, if you couldn't tell already, the difference between the time attack version of the special stage is by basically, if you can tell already, that the timer doesn't actually decrease every time when you touch the water, because you're practically pretty much fine when touching the water, because if you touch that, well, basically there's nothing affected at all. So even then though, you don't have to worry about that, as I mentioned earlier. So even then though, destroying these UFOs on their time attack mode is self-explanatory. So even then though, that there should be not much of a problem. I came to second place. Oh well, I'm only going to showcase these 3 special stages in time attack mode, honestly, so even then though. One thing it makes you know something is that in order to actually access to the time attack on special stages in this version, is that you have to get like under 25 minutes or less if you're actually going to be doing the, you know, the actual time attack mode on every single zones in the game. Like, you know, there are a grand total of 7 zones in total, so even then though, be best to sure you need to actually just beat the time attack mode entirely for under 25 minutes, and if you do that, then you should be able to access to these special stages in time attack mode. So that's worth mentioning though. Oh yeah, you know the extras menu that you know these tons of modes you can actually just interact with, like the DA Garden, and especially the visual mode, in this case cutscenes mode. Usually those 2 modes are usually locked from the get-go, but in order to actually unlock those 2 is by basically, if I recall correctly, that you must able to actually beat the entire time attack mode within under 25 minutes, just like how it does it for the trophy or achievement and all that kinds of stuff. So here we go on to the sorry, excuse me. We're now going into stage select, and basically very similar to how it does in Sonic 1, if you do access to that little button code and all that kinds of stuff. And basically that you can actually select the stage whatever you wanted to. In Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I'm presuming it does the exact same thing, but even then now I have not access to the level select screen on Sonic 2 after all. So anyways, in Sonic CD version on the other hand, you can like access to these different variations of the acts you want to go into, like self-explanatory really. Basically what, you know these little letter parts that usually appears in the end of the sequences, what that does is that it actually represents what time you actually traveled in. So basically it's summed up like this. I'm guessing the A's represents the present day, and B's can be actually processed within let's just say past, and C can be usually access to good future version of the zone, and then if you select D on the other hand, you can actually access to the bad future version of the zones themselves. Even then though, this is actually the first time we're going to be exploring the bad future version of the zones themselves. So even then, I'm all going to be showcase those two zones, unfortunately, because there's no way I can only showcase the, all the acts in particular. So even then, you probably should look that up until, let's just say if you watch the the Command J64 2 Let's Play of Sonic CD, you probably should already know this at this point. So yeah, how do I think about Sonic CD overall, as far as I haven't sort of mentioned about this on during the at the end of Sonic's playthrough on Sonic CD, especially noticeable in Tails' playthrough of the game. That overall is actually a pretty unique Sonic experience though, but even then though, that I seem to actually really enjoyed it, and then I seem to actually just notice something is that you should definitely recommend this game onto any platformers out there, especially noticeable in the definitive version of the game was actually the HD version of the game on, 360, PlayStation 3, PC, Steam version, or even the iOS version, despite the fact you're gonna have to deal with the touchscreen with the D-pad and the jump button at the same time. So even then though, I should definitely recommend the game. And as far as what I was going to give a score on that game, even though I will going to be talking about that until whenever I showcase the last and perhaps the most bizarre thing you're going to be seeing in this particular extras of how this game offers. But even then though, I'm probably going to give this like an 8.5 out of 10. But even then though, despite the wacky workbench zone, I really despise the most. And even especially noticeable the what I'll have to admit though right away is that sometimes the level design can be a little bit disorientating at times, which that might be sounds illogical to some of you, but even then though, it's a great looking game, don't get me wrong, but it's just that I found myself the level design can be a little bit too much of its own, well, mind of its own thing mind you, but anyway. So yeah, I think that wraps every single part, although even then we're showcasing those two zones in particular in the bad future version of the zones themselves. So even then though, on to the next extra part. Alright, now we're back into the main menu once again, but this time we're going to be showcasing another extra thing of how this game offers is there are a grand total of actual 7 special stages in Sonic CD. It turns out there is going to be the 8th and the secret special stage you can only access to the sound test, which by the way, sound test will allow you to actually listen to some of the background music and even the sound effects included. So if you try to put in 7 as from the background music and even 7 for the sound effects, then you can actually access to the secret special stage, aka special stage 8. And basically, I did not notice there's actually a Robotnik's face in there on the background with some of the stars in the background too. Okay, a little bit interesting for that little knowledge. So yeah, it doesn't matter to you if you actually try to complete this, because all it does is just a little bit worthless. It's by basically you can only access to the credits themselves, similar to how it does it for the Tails' playthrough on this particular game, as you clearly saw. So, yeah, this special stage can be mismatched between either tricky or difficult, or even sometimes easier, because UFO speeds, or some UFOs can be summed up as like sometimes slowly, and other times they go ridiculously fast. And if you try to complete this special stage, you don't get yourself an 8th time stone, because there are a grand total of 7 time stones, mind you, but you get yourself just the usual staff credits. So, but even then, it's a nice little extra rewarding thing, but it's just a little curiosity's sake. So, and now we're going to move on into the final extra thing before we actually talk about the game overall. And even then though, that's how we can pretty much guarantee we pretty much end this Let's Play off. So, this is by far the most bizarre thing you're going to be seeing for this playthrough. So, but even then though, I really enjoyed Sonic CD as a result. So even then though, that, well, I highly recommend it. Especially noticeable that how, even though the only zone I'm never been fond of is Wacky Workbench. So anyways, that's all there is to say about this part right here. Wait, what was he saying? Oh, did he quit the game after 3 minutes? Oh my god. Great way to end this Let's Play off. So this is Mega Man here, and I'm from the Maxi Toys, and until then, bye.